Hey, I'm Conflicted, and today I'm going to be ranking every single Kanye West album worst to best. I recently did every single one of his songs worst to best, which you guys can see in my description. I don't know where I'm going to put it, to be honest, but Kanye West is a prime example of why you should separate the artist from the art, because this man is going a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs right now, and respectfully, it makes it a little bit harder to listen to his music, but it's still like, I think that you should completely separate the two. He makes incredible music, and you can't really deny that. Well, you can, but you'd be wrong, in my opinion. And that's all I really gotta say about it, though. Follow me on Conflicted I'm on Twitter. It's my tag. So yeah, follow me there. And shout out to my friends Mello, I'm Lucky, and that's all I really want to say in this video. Let's get into it. So in my last place for Kanye albums, I have Cruel Summer. I don't have a lot to say about this. It has a couple good songs, but it's just not nearly as good as the rest of his discography. It's not very coherent. I mean, it wasn't really meant to be, because it's like a collaboration album, and it doesn't really do much for Kanye, but it helps a lot of the other people on the album. I think it serves its purpose, so, and it does a decent job. My next spot, I have Donda. The production on this was interesting. I think it had a bunch of like pointless tracks on here. It was way too long. Some of the songs were like they're just dragging, you know, they overstayed their welcome. And I didn't like the part 2s, those really annoyed me. And I don't find myself coming back to this album, like, at all, except for like a couple songs like Hurricane, Pure Souls, and a couple others. The horrible album cover, it makes you not immersed into the album. I think album covers are incredibly important, and people don't talk about that, but to get immersed into like the stage of an album, I think it's really important to have a good album cover, and it just does not have that. I think it's still better than Cruel Summer because it has some slaps on here, and like it's more like Kanye than Cruel Summer is Kanye, except you could argue that it's not even because the features carried on Donda, but that's all I got for that. In my 11th place, I have Jesus is King. I think that this album was incredibly overhated. I think that it has great production, it's very coherent, it's pretty grand, and it has pretty good lyricism, but just not as much as a lot of his other works. There are a few great lines in here though, like that one where he was like, I bleached my hair for every time I could have died, that was kind of hard, I can't lie to you. And yeah, it's like not a bad album. I just think it's a step down from a lot of Kanye's older music, and I think he kind of started to spiral with this. I think Yandi would have been a better release. Next up, I have Ye. I think that it has an amazing production, and I think full in in-depth songs, and it's just great vibes in general, great album cover, but I just don't think it's as career-changing for Kanye as some of his other albums, and I think it's also way too short. So for my next spot, I have 808s and Heartbreak. It's massive time in Kanye's life with a very coherent story, great beats, great production in general, but I think it's just not as good of music as the albums I have above. It's just like great production though. I like the theme of this album. I think Kanye had some great outfits that he had when he was preaching this album, and I think that the album cover was also very iconic. But that's all I have for that. Watch the Throne is my next spot. I think it has great energy, great fluidity with both Kanye and Jay-Z, arguably both in their prime. They bounce off of each other a lot in this, and yeah, there's career headlining songs for both of them in here. There's great flows and lyricism. It's almost competitive, like they're like battling to see who could do the most on this project, and it's like, I don't know, it's really incredible. Great production, but I just don't think it hits as some of Kanye's other works. My next spot, I have Late Registration. Beautiful album cover, I like the browns. A great sequel to The College Dropout, and I think it has some pretty great production. It's a good mix of meaningful songs like Roses and big songs for Kanye like Touch the Sky and Gold Digger, as well as some grand songs like We Major, but I still don't think it's as influential as other Kanye albums. Yeezus is the next spot. This album changed the industry a lot, and it's just great music, but it somewhat lacks cohesiveness. But that's almost symbolic of Kanye's life on how big of a scale it is, but also how inconsistent it can be. Great album cover. Some of these songs feel like art pieces rather than actual music, which works both for Kanye and against him, because it makes me want to listen to other albums instead of this because it's less musical and more like artistic. But that's all I gotta say about that. Now we have The College Dropout. This is a great start for Kanye. It had great beats and production, a great album cover, and we have Hungry Kanye on here. He was just destroying these beats that he made. He was doing great on them. And yeah, good cohesiveness. I like the trilogy of this album, Graduation and Late Registration, but I think there's too many skits, and I think that some songs overstay their welcome. But other than those small issues, I think that this album's great. Kids See Ghosts is the next one. This is an amazing album cover, and it's short and sweet. Amazing production, great energy, great ability of Cudi and Kanye's teamwork here, but there's not much to say about it other than that. I really hope that these people come back together and make another album, but I don't think it's looking like they're gonna. So now we're in the top 3 Kanye West albums of all time, and I have Graduation at number 3. It has amazing production, beautiful songs like I Wonder, and solid. It's just solid overall, and there's very few lows. Even Barry Bonds, which is still an above average mid song in my opinion, and it's just groundbreaking for Kanye. And it has some groundbreaking songs as well, like Stronger, Flashing Lights, and a beautiful album cover. I think the only part that this falls short is Drunken Hot Girls. I don't like that song, but other than that, this album is incredible. My second spot, I have My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. This is a crazy time in Kanye's life. It had a great storyline, and it was like incredibly grand, but scattered. Like, it was like, I don't know, it was just incredible. Great lyrics. This is Kanye's masterpiece. Kanye made this, and he made it in the islands, I'm pretty sure, and I think this album was incredible. One of the top 5 albums of all time, and the fact that it's his second best is also insane to me. Massive and beautiful songs like Runaway and Devil in a New Dress, and like every single song on here is incredible. But it does not beat my number 1 spot, which is The Life of Pablo. This is another crazy time in his life, incredible production, crazy album rollout. Whenever Kanye is tripping about something, he releases insane music. And yeah, it's just different vibes, you know, it's just, every single song on this album filled its own spot, and I thought it was all incredible. He had great lyricism on here, some deep personal songs like Real Friends, St. Pablo was incredible, and it's just simply some of his best music. The album cover is iconic, and yeah, that's all I really have to say. I could argue that My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasies on the same level as this. They go back and forth for me a lot, so if you disagree with this placement, I can understand where you are from, and I think that in general, this goes to show on how incredible Kanye's music is, that many people have different favorite albums because they're all so close. He's very consistent, but at the same time, it's such different music that it's just incredible how many different styles of music that he's gone into that have all came out incredible. But let me know what you guys think on these my choices in the comments below. Let me know what you think of this video in the comments below. And that's all I really wanted to say in this video. I love you all. I'm conflicted, and I'm gonna make this video less than 10 minutes. Love you all. Peace.